What's going on, guys? Nathan here, and today I'm going to show you how I learned how to read their poker hand. This is a critical skill that you must master as you move up the stakes and get more serious about this game. Today I'm going to walk you through a step-by-step example hand showing you exactly how to read their poker hand. Let's jump into it right now. Alright guys, so reading someone's poker hand is all about understanding player type. And in today's video, I'm specifically going to talk about the tight poker players at your table. And the biggest reason why is because these will be your most common opponent in today's games. There's very few people anymore that play a ton of trashy hands that call you down with every single draw, every single bottom pair. No, most people actually play relatively decently these days. They're watching videos like this. They take the game seriously. They're trying to win just like you. So this is all about understanding how to read good poker players, and let's talk about an example right now. So you've got ace king, and one of these tight regular players calls your pre-flop. So before we start, let's just try to put this player on an initial range of hands. So tight player, they're not playing trashy hands like a 10-4 offsuit or a king deuce or, you know, a queen 4 or something like that. That's what recreational players do. Tight players in this situation, they're going to be playing all their pocket pairs, so that's pocket aces all the way down to pocket twos. They're probably going to be playing most Broadway cards, so that's any two cards 10 and above. For example, king queen, queen jack, a bunch of hands like this, and they're probably going to be playing a bunch of suited connectors as well, a hand like a 9-8 of hearts, something like that. A pretty tight range. So let's go see the flop. So flop comes down with a 9 of hearts, king of spades, and 5 of clubs. You make a bet and they call. So now let's put this player on a range of hands at this point. Well, I think with a tight player like this, they're going to fold most of their trash on this board. They're not going to call you guys here with pocket fours. If they were playing some sort of suited ace, maybe like an ace 3 suited or something, they're not going to call you with hands like that. Instead, they're going to be calling you here with a hand like pocket nines, pocket fives, which both have us in very, very bad shape. Even though we have top pair, top kicker, those hands have literally 90% equity to win versus us, but we are ahead of hands like king queen, king jack, which we'll certainly be calling here. I do think that they're going to make a call here with ace queen, just because a lot of players don't like to give up with a hand that strong, and I do expect them to also call with pocket jacks and pocket tens here. Now you guys might have noticed that pocket aces, pocket kings, and pocket queens are missing from this list, and that is because we would expect those hands to have re-raised us before the flop, and therefore we can discount them in this situation. I hope you guys are seeing how we're putting the pieces of the puzzle together here to read somebody's poker hand. We're going to be narrowing down their range at every single stage throughout this hand. So let's go see the turn now. So the turn is basically a situation where we're often going to be bet folding here. And what I mean by that is we're going to be making a bet, and if we get significant action, specifically when we get raised versus this player type, we're going to be folding our hand. Now the turn card is important though as well, and the turn comes with the proverbial brick in this situation, the 3 of diamonds. The 3 of diamonds changes absolutely nothing on this board. It doesn't complete any draws. There literally were no draws on the flop as well. I should have probably mentioned that. There's no flush draw on this board, and there's no conceivable straight draw either. So when we make a bet here and they raise, the alarm bells should be seriously going off in your brain, guys. This is where hand reading really comes in. Guys, take it from my 10 plus years as a professional in this game. When the tight player raises you on the turn here, this is literally 2 hands. It is pocket nines and pocket fives, and we are drawing completely dead to both of those hands at this time, meaning that there is no card in the deck on the river that can make us the best hand. And so therefore it would be an absolutely colossal mistake for you to call in this situation. And I'm going to talk about the psychology of feeling like you need to call in just a second here, but let's talk about how we narrowed down to these 2 hands. How did I get to this conclusion of what hand they likely have here? Well, player type, once again, we're talking about the tight player here. So remember the range that we put them on before. We also had in their range hands like king queen and king jack. We expect those hands to only just call on the turn here, guys. It makes 0 sense for these hands to raise us at this point. Guys, remember that most tight players are relatively passive. Remember that king queen and king jack did not improve on this turn card, so there's utterly no reason why they would raise us at this point. That would just be overplaying their hands. So those hands would just call. And then we also talked about a handful of hands like ace queen, pocket jacks, pocket tens, and maybe a couple suited connectors like a 9-8 suited, for example. Those hands are all going to fold now when we bet again here on the turn. Ace queen has nothing. Ace queen's getting out of the way. Pocket jacks and pocket tens. Those hands are going to make a tough fold here. Most tight players also are risk averse. They don't like to put a lot of money in the middle without a really strong hand. We bet twice here and they're looking down at pocket tens. They're going to convince themselves, guys, that we have a king, and we do have a king in this situation. And with the suited connector, a hand like 9-8, they're also going to convince themselves for similar reasons that we have a king, we have, you know, pocket queens, something like that. We've shown a tremendous amount of strength at this point, guys. And so this is why you can narrow it down literally to these two specific hands, pocket nines and pocket fives, which again have us completely drawing dead. Now let's talk about the psychology here of why some people feel like they need to see it. And by the way, as I always mention in these videos, you don't have to take my word for it, guys. You can use a program like Poker Tracker. I've used this for literally 10 years. This is what we call a HUD program online, but a lot of people forget about the database. And by the way, I'll include the link to the HUD program that I use in the description below, but you can literally go into the database backend and you can filter for this exact scenario, guys. You can put yourself in a situation where you've got ace king on a board like this with top pair and a tight player raises you on the turn, and you're going to see a tremendous amount of losses for the simple reason that these players always have it. I presented the evidence in my first book. There's even 2 chapters in the book. The turn raise is usually the nuts and the river raise is always the nuts. And the nuts is just a slang term we use in poker for the best hand possible. So let's talk about the psychology though behind this situation, because a lot of people say to me, Nathan, I just need to see it though. I can't lay down my top pair. Guys, you need to understand that this is an amateur way of thinking about the game. Again, you can go look at the cold hard math yourself in a database program and you can see all of your losses. But the psychology in the moment is that a lot of people convince themselves that they just have to make a bad call in a situation like this, even though they can read the hand like I just walked you through in this example, narrowing down their range. We know that they have us beat. We know that we need to fold. So why are we still feeling like we need to make a call? Guys, you need to understand that when it is as plain as day, like in this situation, that a tight player is literally never bluffing here, you need to challenge yourself to simply be better. Where a lot of people go wrong in poker is they learn a lot about the game. They watch videos like this, they read books, they study in training courses, and I do recommend all that. And I will include all of my suggestions once again in the description below. But guys, execution must follow knowledge in poker or else it doesn't mean anything. I have met so many poker players over the years that sound like geniuses to me. They can give me the odds for every situation ever, and they've learned perfect game theory, and they've seemingly got all the answers for every single situation, but they have no results in poker. And the reason why is because they fail to execute that knowledge in the moment in an emotionally charged game like poker. And guys, you need to challenge yourself to be better than that. When you know that the tightest player at the table, when they raise you on the turn or river like this, that they literally always have it, you need to challenge yourself mentally to make the fold here. You don't need to see it, guys. That's what amateurs do. And if you want to get amateur level results, then keep making bad calls in a situation like this. If you want to take your game to the next level though, execution must follow knowledge. When you read their hand here, now you need to lay down your hand when you know you're beat. Guys, I hope this one was helpful. Like and subscribe if you found it useful. And also, if you want to know my entire strategy to beat the small and mid stakes games, make sure you grab a copy of my free poker cheat sheet. I will also link that up in the description below. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. I will catch you next time.